Hey everyone, have you ever gone on an adventure that turned into a total nightmare? Well, let me tell you a story about a trip to Mammoth Cave that took a seriously chilling turn. I went there with my closest friends, all excited and ready for a weekend of adventure. But what was supposed to be a fun time exploring the shadows became a haunting memory that still chills me to this day. So, Mammoth Cave is known for its vast, beautiful passages and mind blowing formations. I mean, it's like nature's underground wonderland. There were five of us on this trip: me, Sam, our adventurous friend Ben, and our buddies Luke and Jared. Ben was always the daring type, the kind of guy who loved wandering into the unknown and bringing the rest of us along for the ride. The atmosphere was electric as we started our descent into the cave, filled with laughter and the thrill of exploring uncharted territory. You could almost feel the excitement in the air, but little did we know that adventure was about to take a dark twist. After exploring for a couple of hours, something felt off when Ben suddenly wandered ahead and didn't come back. We called for him, but our voices just echoed back to us, almost mocking our concern. As the minutes dragged on, that excitement morphed into panic, and our searches turned frantic. We retraced our steps, just shouting his name into the dark, hoping for some kind of reply. That's when things got really creepy. Luke, who was always the one to notice the small things, suddenly stopped and raised his hand. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Honestly, I hadn't heard anything at first, but when we focused, we caught a faint sound. Ben's voice. It was barely there, but unmistakable, coming from a place we hadn't even checked yet. You know that moment when your gut tells you something is wrong? That feeling washed over us. The call was coming from a dark tunnel we hadn't explored. Maybe we rationalized it could connect back to where he was, but deep down, something felt off. We kept pushing down the tunnel, calling Ben's name and waiting for a reply. Everything felt heavier with each step we took. Finally, we stopped in our tracks when we heard it again. This time the echo came from behind us. What the heck? Luke's face was pale, and I could see he was just as freaked out as I was. Jared shouted back, trying to muster some confidence. "All right, Ben, this isn't funny anymore." But I couldn't shake my dread. It didn't feel like our friend calling us. It felt like something else. Finally, we decided to backtrack to where we last saw Ben. But as I turned, I saw Luke go white as a sheet. It was like he was staring straight into the abyss. I looked down and saw this gaping hole in the ground, dark and ominous. That's when Luke whispered, "I think he's down there dead." My heart dropped. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. We stood frozen for what felt like forever, but instincts kicked in, and we realized we had to get out of there. The silence in the cave was deafening, making every footstep feel like we were being hunted. As we rushed back, everything felt wrong, like the cave itself was alive, watching us. Just when we thought we were starting to escape, the unthinkable happened. Out of nowhere, something lunged at Yusei, pale figure, almost human, but twisted and wrong. It came at us fast. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I grabbed my flashlight and aimed it right at it. Somehow, it flinched from the light. In that moment of panic, I yelled for Luke to back away, but he tripped, and before I knew it, the creature had him. I felt paralyzed. Watching him fight for his life was like a nightmare come to life. Then, in pure survival mode, I ran, making the agonizing decision to leave him behind. The screams and chaos stitched themselves into my heart as I slipped into the tunnel, bursting towards the light. Finally, out of that cave, I crashed onto the ground, gasping for air. But relief was short-lived. I had to face the devastation of what happened to my friends. When the police got involved, I stupidly rationalized my story, speaking of, well, a faceless killer instead of the truth about the creepy creature. I thought maybe they'd understand if I framed it that way. They investigated hard, combing through the caves, but they only found Ben. Jared and Luke, gone without a trace. My story didn't hold up, my panic and guilt gnawing at me day by day. I started to feel like a ghost myself, haunted by what happened in those dark depths. So yeah, that's my wild, terrifying tale of Mammoth Cave and what went down with my friends. I can't even describe the fear of hearing your friends' voices echoing from the darkness or the haunting shadows lurking just beyond the light. Even now, I can't shake the feeling of staring too deep into the darkness. It keeps me up at night, always looking over my shoulder. I know it sounds crazy, but I really avoid caves now, and the dark doesn't just scare me, it terrifies me. What about you? Have you ever been in a creepy situation like this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this story chilling, hit that like button and subscribe for more crazy tales like this one. Until next time, stay safe out there, and remember, the dark might just be hiding a secret.